We're gonna fast forward like 8 or 9 months, and the car is pretty much together. Not pretty much, it fucking runs, man. It runs. So, I don't even remember where I left off, but what better to start than where I'm at. So, I bought black interior. It didn't come with a headliner, so we spray painted that black. Yes, I said spray paint. Yes, there's streaks in it. It'll be all right. We have the interior out of the car because we're gonna build a roll cage. I've already got the main hoop. Took the measurements, taped it all out on the floor, and then bent that. It's gonna fit in there. You guys will see that here pretty soon. And so yeah, we're going to, what we're working on right now is getting the wires basically out of the way, cleaning off the spots where this roll cage is going to connect to the frame of the car. I'm trying to show it. See how it starts to bubble? Anyway, you guys get the idea. It's gonna take us a while. We'll be right back. All right, here's an update. So we scraped all the sound deadening foam. We scraped it up, grinded it off, then hit it with a wire wheel, and then ultimately cleaned it up with acetone. Not perfect, but I think it would be good. I just cut these out of, I think they're just over a 1/4 inch, and I think that only 1/8 inch is required on the 6x6 plates. So they're going like this. Not sure. So I got a protractor, and I laid the cage up against here at about the angle I wanted, and it looks like this is favoring 10 degrees back, and this one's favoring 5 degrees forward, or 5 degrees back. This one's favoring 9 degrees forward. So I'm going to do 15 degrees notch on the bottom, and then I'm going to tack the roll bar in, and then I'm going to attempt to do the A-pillars. So big shocker, I go to put the plate or the main hoop in, and I forgot that my tolerances were a little tighter to the sides of the car, and so long story short, it's not going to work. It's going to have to fit all the way into these corners, and I'm sure that 15 degrees no longer will work out, but we'll see. Well, this is going to come as a shocker because everything I do, I have to do it multiple times. But I cut the feet wrong on the halo. I mean, not the halo, the main hoop. And they're backwards from each other. So now I get to bend this all over again. Luckily, I left the template on the ground. So I guess I'll mess with this more tomorrow. Okay, so here's to day 3 of messing with this roll cage. There's hoop number 1 that we cut too short. There's, on the far end, is hoop number 2 that we made 2 inches too big. And then here's hoop number 3 that we made exactly, well, it's a little bit too long, but it fits exactly in the car, to the point where we can't get full welds all the way around the bottom. So the only way I know to fix it is to do a 10 degree kick about I'm gonna start the bins at 3 inches off the ground, which will put them somewhere right around the rear seats. So that's what we're gonna try. All right, so fast forward a little bit. We've got the main hoop in, but we're trying to get an A-pillar done, one of the fronts. So we're gonna try to go up 15 and then do 245s. And the second one is gonna have a 20-degree offset. Nick's over here taking inch by inch because we wasted so much metal. We're trying to incremental on this one. Take a look at the main hoop and how it's in there. It fits very, very snug to the car all the way around. I did have to do a small kick in it right here because I want to be able to weld all the way around it, but I wanted it this tight to the frame. That should be just enough room to put the interior back in. Overall, pretty happy with that. So, I don't know, stay tuned, and hopefully next time you see us, we'll have one of the front pillars on. Alright guys, so if you take your time and you measure multiple times over, you too can have a pile of metal like this. So this is getting to be an expensive adventure, but every time we get a little bit closer. So I went and picked up more metal today because I done scrapped everything that I had here, and already did the first one not so great. So wish me luck on the second one. If anybody's wondering how we're doing it, I basically made a cheater bar, cheater 90, and then I hold it to like certain bins in the car, and I measure, or I mark with a piece of tape where the notch is. Focus is one of those things that I'll always struggle with. Anyways, I mark with a piece of tape where that is, so then I can tell where the start of the bend needs to be in that bender. And then I mark it onto this pipe. The challenges I'm having is I'm not really the best at angles and really offsets or anything. And I'm not so much, or I'm not very good at how much or how many inches or how much metal it'll take for a bend. So I either over or undershoot it just because I'm not the best at angles. Anyway, hopefully next time you see us, we'll have more done than just the main hoop. Let's just leave it at that. So the front bars, main hoop, and rear bars are now in the car. Sorry about that, I had to get a light because I couldn't see anything. But these welds are anything but perfect, and giant caterpillars, mainly because I've never done this before, and it's a lot harder than it looks. I'll just say that. Doing my best. The rear bars are in here. They actually look really good. This is super hard to get it in there. So you obviously have to cut the holes before you put it in, and you have to get that piece like way up here on the pipe, get the pipes in, and then basically curve it on the back glass and slide it in. It's a pain in the butt, but it's in there. Well, hopefully Yeah, it's super hot in there when you're welding, but hopefully the rest of it will go smoother. I'm not really sure if we're gonna be able to weld the top all the way or not, because to cut the holes and go through the floor is gonna be an absolute pain in the butt, and then we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna paint it.
Yeah, after like 4 tries.
Yeah, it's already, we're like a week better than a week deep in this. It's, I mean, granted, we do have day jobs, so we're working in the evening, but it is a lot bigger pain in the butt than I think we both thought it would be. So the car is done now. What we ended up doing was cutting 4 holes here on the front and lowered the roll cage down, welded the top, and then we painted what we could of the cage on the top of it. We put the headliner back in it and then pulled the cage back up, slid those plates back under it, fully welded the plates and everything. And so that's how we did that. If you come around here, so if you're looking at the NHRA rules, it shows a bar going straight across. And then if you have, I think it's 1 3/4, you can have 1 bar. But I ran out of that, but I did have 1.5 inches. Well, 1.5 inches has to be an X. So that's why I went with the X, plus I think it looks cooler. And then the problem with this bar is I really think it's, a lot of people either don't run it or it's on the bottom of the car, because these are the factory seats and this is where you pull the lever to lean the seat back. And so what I ended up having to do was take this seat is actually the passenger or the driver's side, and the driver's side is actually the passenger side, and that was a whole deal. But it's all back in here and it looks pretty good. The dash is an absolute pain in the butt. I got this one pretty good. I missed it on the other side and tore it all to hell. But yeah, I guess go in there and check it out.
I'm taking my time. I'm taking my time. Taking my time.